Saturday marks 20 years since the September 11th terror attacks. That day is still so painful for so many Americans, especially those who saw it unfold firsthand.
A local Navy veteran, in fact, was just a few blocks from the Pentagon when it was attacked. She sprang into action to treat victims. News Channel 6's Chloe Salsameda has her story.
Regina Briscoe watched the news as the Twin Towers burned in New York City. Little did she know the Pentagon would be attacked next.
I remember being in the break room and hearing an earth-shattering boom that I'll never forget. It's 20 years later, and I can still remember the sound when the actual aircraft hit the Pentagon.
Briscoe was just down the street at the Navy Annex.
Initially, we just stood still and kind of like braced ourselves.
In less than 20 minutes, her team set up a medical tent to treat victims.
I seen a man his body was burnt, like unrecognizably burnt.
Briscoe eventually returned to the Pentagon and went back to work, but life wasn't the same.
Initially, you just feel numb, and you don't even realize the changes in yourself until your family tells you, hey, you're not the same.
Briscoe sought help. She went to the VA and began speaking with a psychiatrist. 20 years later, her emotions are still raw. She says she hasn't been able to visit any of the memorials.
That's just a moment you really don't want to relive. And the fact that I'm here, I wish I could have done more. So it's kind of like I just can't go back. And I wish I could do more.
September 11th is a day Briscoe can never forget, but it's a day that shaped her into who she is now.
We can't rewind time. We have to live through it. And for it to be 20 years, you're like, man, I made it 20 years later. I'm still here. There's a reason.
In Augusta, Chloe Salsameda, WJBF, News Channel 6.
It is hard to believe it's 20 years later.
I mean, just like that.
Regina urges any veteran needing mental health support to seek it out.
Yeah, it's there for you. You can contact the VA or the Veteran Crisis Line. All the information is on our website for you, WJBF.com.